Hi everyone, it's Jaizy. Today's video is gonna be special because I'll be showing the process of how I made that animation you saw just now. So without further ado, let's begin the video. So to start off, I'll be opening the project that I've been postponing because I wanted to do this project specifically for this video because I thought it would be easy. And it wasn't. So if you're wondering what's this item that I'm using, you might already have an idea based on the title and thumbnail, but I'll be giving some introduction about this in a while. First, here I'm just positioning child Ajax Tartaglia in his first pose for this animation. The key point when positioning him is that he has an arched back because he thinks that's cool. Also positioning his legs in an open manner, if you know what I mean. I'm doing the camera angles right after because I don't do storyboards, so doing the camera motion first gives me a gist of how I want the animation to go, and looking at it motivates me. I'm doing his head animation here, but prior to this I did some breathing animation on him, but I guess I failed to record it. I also slowly started to add some facial expressions here. And I didn't notice I took quite some time just doing his head. Lol. Sorry. And here I'm also slowly adding some eyeball movements as well as the eyebrows. Some tip that I can share when doing facial expressions is eye darting. I was gonna share this in my previous tutorial, but I dismissed it because I thought I sounded stupid. But I just recently learned that the term, which is eye darting. This is when our eyeballs makes rapid movements, especially when we think. In other words, our eyeballs moves a lot more than we think, so adding those eyeball movements in your animation can really help your model look more alive. And that was 170 frames. We still have around 2,000 frames to go. Yeah, let's go. But before I continue the rest of the process, I'll show you this item that I received just recently because of you guys. You know, this made me so happy. And so this item is the GAOMON PD1560 pen display tablet. And I was so happy when someone from GAOMON reached out to me. I'm so thankful. Disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. I'll just be featuring this tablet here because I'll provide some of my thoughts about it as I use it for animation and drawing as well. So here I'm just showing what's inside the box that I received. I'll just show some few quick shots of what's inside so I don't use a lot of your time. So some information about this display tablet is that it has a screen size of 15.6 inches, with which I think is not too big or too small for a pen display tablet. It also has a high definition 920 by 1080 screen resolution, so the screen is really clear and is closely in par with an actual monitor. Then this tablet has 10 Express keys that are customizable. I customized mine using the driver that's downloadable on GAOMON's website. This also comes with an adjustable stand, which I found really convenient because it can go from 20 to 80 degrees. So the pen for this tablet is a rechargeable pen, and in my opinion it has a long battery life since I've been using it for almost 2 weeks now and it still hasn't died on me, and it only needs about 3 hours to charge. And another model that's quite similar to this is the PD1561 model, also from GAOMON. The difference is just it has a tilt support for its pen, and you need not to charge it because it's battery free. Both the PD1561 and the PD1560 are cost effective and are on sale now on Amazon, so if you're also interested, you can check the links in the description box for a discounted price. So let's continue the animation. And yes, I'm using this display tablet for animation. The thing that I like when using this is I no longer have to experience the wrist pain I get from using the mouse. I also like looking at the screen for this tablet because it's easy on the eyes compared to my monitor for some reason. So here I'm just continuing the animation. I was a little confused here if I wanted Lumine to walk or run towards child. But I just went with the walking animation because I think it's easier. So yeah. So before I added the walking animation on Lumine, I added a movement child makes as Lumine jumps and hugs him on the back. And so per usual, I started off with the center bone animation. But then while replaying the rough draft, it didn't have the impact that I wanted.
Where's the flavor?
But I still proceeded with the animation anyway. Then to just stupidly delete everything and do a running animation instead. It's okay, that's part of the process. I love animation.
I love animation. It's so fun. So fun.
And again, I did the center bone animation first for this running animation as well, just to track the flow of animation. Then after, I did the feet. I got a little bit stuck here because the timing between the center bone and the feet bones looked weird, so I also redid both of them at the same time and just doing some adjustment to get the right timing. Then finally moving on to the next frames for the feet. But still, I still made some adjustments again, going back and forth with the motion. And the feet will still look weird because I haven't done the toe bones just yet. Then I got stuck once again. I couldn't figure out what's wrong anymore, so I checked my reference, which is a screen recording from the game. And again, I'm just making some adjustments, checking what's wrong, going back and forth in the motion, and all the shenanigans. And then here's my output so far in the process, and I still didn't like it. So I proceeded to make adjustments once again. Oh my gosh, I just noticed that I take so much time in making adjustments. That's just because I'm stupid. And then finally, I actually like it so far now.
But we're not yet done. I don't want to do it. Like, I can't take the pressure of it.
Do you think your work is gonna do it fucking self? No!
I wish. Just kidding. So for this part, we're just gonna proceed with the next frames for this running animation. Again, I'm still doing the bones for the feet. Then this time facing the front to make sure that it's looking decent. Because all this time we've been animating in the side view. Here's a little tip when doing running animations, just from my observation. I'm not a professional. For the interpolation curves, usually the z-axis is on a linear form in the interpolation curve, while the y and the x and the rotation are on different curves. So now I'm doing the toes animation because earlier it looked weird without it. So I'm speeding up this part even more because overall I'm just doing some adjustments on the same frames again and again on the keyframe, changing the timing and all that. Then here I wanted to try to add more motion on Lumine's body, so I animated her spine, bones, and her head as well. Then it looked kinda weird, so I checked the reference and it's a very subtle movement, so I fixed it. And this time I added some facial expressions on her. So the next part of this motion is her arms, so I checked the reference, how her arms are moving while running. So this bone I'm using on Lumine's arm is an ick bone. It's not the usual bone you see on most models, and I just edited it and I highly recommend it because it helps animating the arms easier and faster. this time focusing on the right arms. Then, as per usual, I just kept checking on the reference to get the right movement. And again, it's my biggest tip, check your references if you really can't figure out how to make a certain movement. So here's the little output so far. It's still kind of weird, but now we're moving on with the left arm. I'll no longer play the rest of this part because I'm basically doing the same frames over and over, just making some adjustments. Then we'll cut to the part where she hugs child. Now there's not much explaining that I can do here. I'm just basically trying to make Lumin hug child. So while you're watching the progress, I'll share some tips when animating. First of all, when animating, don't be afraid to do closer frames. This is something that I used to do and sometimes still do, but if you're having trouble getting the right speed of your motion, it's more likely because your keyframes are too far from each other. And while in the topic of keyframes, if your motion is looking funny, it's also likely because you're using too many keyframes. Sometimes less is more. And another one regarding keyframes is to keep them organized. That way you can easily find certain keyframes and honestly just helps you erase some confusion while you're animating. And notice how in my frame manipulation area, some keyframes are usually in line with each other. That way I can easily find them if I want to fix them. And lastly, not really on animating but more on when using MMD, try to learn some shortcuts, and there are a lot that even I didn't know that it exists, because doing so can help you speed up your work even just a little. Some shortcuts I frequently use are Enter and Control.
You will never succeed more than you fail. That's not how it works. You know why? Because failure is a wonderful teacher. It's the only way to learn. You have to fail. Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful.
So that's all for the animation process. I'll no longer show the rest because if I do, this video will last for at least 30 minutes to 1 hour, and that's too long. I just wanted to show the behind the scenes of my animation work and show how slow I am when working. But do know that any progress that you do is one step closer to reaching the last frame. Just progress is progress, okay?
Do you think your work is gonna do it fucking self? No!
So I'll end this video with some thoughts about using the display tablet for animation. At first, I honestly thought that using this will make things quicker, but there's not much difference when I use the keyboard and mouse. But it did felt awkward at first because I've never used one before. Also because I'm used to having my hands positioned in the keyboard when animating. And because of that, I don't find it necessary to use this for animation in MMD, but I'll be using this definitely for drawing and would really like to try this on Blender someday. And some cons that I had experienced was the fact that the driver wasn't compatible on MMD, so some shortcuts were not working, but I don't use some of it so often, so it was fine. And it's compatible with most drawing software, so using this tablet for drawing won't cause the same problem. Also, the cursor kind of goes off the pen sometimes, so it's hard to select the details at times. But overall, I didn't encounter any major problems that would turn me off from using this tablet. Also, it's my first time using a pen display tablet, so I don't have any strong opinions about this. And everything was just new and interesting for me, and I'm just really thrilled that I can draw directly on my PC. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching and for watching till the end. I don't upload a lot, so thank you for staying by. Take care. Bye.